President of the Moon Society, James Burke. By the way, I will point out the James Burke that Michelle was talking about is not related to our James Burke. I learned in the chat that our James Burke is descended from a different line, the Irish line, uh, but family Galway. So I think that's pretty neat, but not the same James Burke. There were some questions about that. So
He
uh,
could be like my 12th cousin or something. I'm
yes.
not sure.
It's important to note that our James Burke does not have an E at the end of his name, and that James Burke does. I've been making that error for about 6 weeks now, and I finally figured it out.
You're not the only one. The method behind that is the British like to put the E on the end of my name to make me British, but I'm not. I'm actually American, so.
Right on. Okay, James Burke without an E, please take it away and talk to us about vision, mission, values of the Moon Society. You've got about 15 minutes, so we're right on track, by the way.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. And again, thanks everybody for attending today. I'm on the organizing committee of this conference, and I'm really proud about how it came together. But that's what we do at the Moon Society. You know, we're a small organization, but we accomplish a lot. And I want to talk today about our past history a little bit and our vision, mission, and values. But we are sort of at a crossroads. We are trying to figure out who we want to be as humanity moves into this new phase of settling space, enabled by things like Starship. We're going to be able to actually get to the moon in this next decade and start doing the things that the Moon Society has been talking about for 20 years. And so the Moon Society, we actually grew out of an earlier organization called the Artemis Project, the Artemis Society. No relation to the NASA program. They didn't ask us if they could use the name Artemis, which is fine, they can use the name. But you know, back in the year 1995, there was a book that came out, or a plan that came out in this, it was published originally in Analog Magazine. This is the January 1995 issue of Analog Magazine I'm holding. And inside it is the Artemis Project article, which was basically a commercial plan to go to the moon, and to do it with private money using the space shuttle and raising funds primarily through entertainment. So they wanted to, at the time, this was Greg Bennett's project. He was a former NASA flight controller. And what he wanted to do was raise money through entertainment, through some selling of the science results as well, and other things, you know, promotion. But they would fund the mission for about $1.3 billion, and that's 1995 dollars. But definitely a low cost mission on the cheap that could be accomplished. Now, the Moon Society grew out of the Artemis Society, which was founded by Greg and others to promote the Artemis Project. And in the year 2000, the Moon Society was founded at a conference in Las Vegas. And I was there. I actually was there. I was a lot younger then. I had more hair, but I was in the room when we started working on our bylaws. And to quote from our bylaws, we had the idea that we would create, through the Moon Society, create a spacefaring civilization which would establish communities on the moon. That was our big goal. That was right at the beginning of our bylaws in the year 2000. Also in the bylaws, we wanted to promote the large-scale industrialization and private enterprise on the moon. Private enterprise has always been a focus of the Moon Society, and trying to see how, you know, the everyman, so to speak, a regular person could actually help make this future a reality. We also wanted to bring together people, and this conference is a manifestation of that. We're bringing together people from government, industry, educational institutions, the press. All those are represented in our conference today and tomorrow for the exchange of information about the moon. And then finally, informing the public at large. And we would do that through various publications that we did. Our flagship publication for most of the Moon Society's history was the Moon Miner Manifesto, published by Peter Koch. It was a monthly newsletter. And so lately we've been working with Peter to publish a couple of his books that are taking material from the newsletter. But I want to talk about our mission, vision, and values. And so our current team at the Moon Society, we're, again, a pretty small volunteer team. I rejoined the organization in 2018 as vice president. Michael Mealing became our president shortly earlier than that. And we have other great volunteers such as Ben Smith, who will talk again today. And so what we've come up with now is what you can see on our website, which is our mission is simply to enable permanent lunar settlement. And we will do this by building a community and building a set of partners. And we're well underway with doing that. We have a lot of great partners that we've been working with. And we want our community to be inclusive and include not only research of technology and science, but economic development. That's a huge focus for us, business, and bringing in venture capital to lunar projects. And then finally, public education, outreach about the moon and understanding what the moon is all about and what the potential of the moon is for our human future. Our vision is that we envision a hopeful and exciting future. We're not a dystopian approach. We don't believe in like scarcity in the solar system. There's a future, it's a future of abundance that we see, and a future that we can solve a lot of the problems on Earth by exploring space. We want to see multiple permanent civilian settlements on the moon, not government, not military settlements, civilian settlements that you can go visit, you can go be a tourist at, or go live there permanently, or have a summer home, or visit for a week or two on vacation. That's what we see. The future of the moon is somewhere that anyone can go to. And also contribute to a robust cislunar economy. We believe that there will be, in the next 10 to 15 years, a very robust economy around the Earth and the moon and that system, using the Lagrange points, having space stations in lunar orbit, such as the Lunar Gateway that NASA is working on, and others, and having economic development across the system. Using local resources on the moon, making sure that we can mine the water ice that's available and other resources such as helium-3 for fusion reactors. That's all things that people have been talking about for a long time, and we're going to actually get to see that in the next 10 to 15 years. And finally, again, we want to improve the quality of life on Earth. We're not exploring space by taking away what people would spend money on Earth. It's not a zero-sum game. We explore space because we want to improve the quality of life for everyone on Earth. Our values, we don't really have a formal set of values, but this is what I would propose. And again, we're at a crossroads at the Moon Society. All of us would like to talk about where we want to go and what we want the Moon Society to be. Michael Mealing will have a few comments on that later today as well. I know Ben has ideas and Michael Lane has ideas and others have ideas, and we want you to be part of this too. But here's my proposal for the values of the Moon Society. And innovation in all endeavors that we do. And I think we've been good at that with the projects we've accomplished in the last few years. Engineering and technical prowess, business acumen, those are all really important things for settling the moon, I believe. We should be an inclusive community with diversity, not only of people, but of ideas, and inclusive of those ideas. And we want to be a global community. We don't want to be focused on the US or specific countries, but we want to include everyone from around the world in what we do. And then finally, we want to get things done. We want to be mission and goal driven and have a pioneer spirit and a can-do attitude. And so with these values, in the last few years, we've actually been able to accomplish a few things. The first thing we did was we revitalized our website. And you can browse our website. There's a lot of great information here. We also, as I mentioned, published Peter Koch's book, A Pioneer's Guide to Living on the Moon, making use of a lot of the concepts that he had back in the Moon Miners Manifesto newsletter that he published since 1986. This is an ebook and a printed book. It runs 700 pages. It's not a light read, but it is very comprehensive and talks all about how we could settle the moon and build a sustainable lunar civilization. We put up an online store, lunartraders.com. This was a store that had been around at the early days of the Moon Society, and we resurrected it. And you can access our books and some other swag there. Also, the proceedings of last year's conference are up there as well. We actually were able to create transcripts of all the videos from last year and publish that in ebook form. One of the things we also were able to do in the last 2 years is to merge with the Lunar Resources Company, which was the commercial arm of the Artemis project and the Artemis Society. When that effort was going on in the 90s, they formed a for-profit company that was going to be the Lunar Settlement Company. That then spawned our organization. So what we were able to do was go back to all the original shareholders from the 1990s and buy up all their shares. And so we've now merged the Lunar Resources Company and all of its intellectual property, including the Artemis Project materials, all the 3D designs that they did back then, into the Moon Society. And you can think of now the Moon Society as we have a nonprofit arm and a for-profit arm, and our projects we do may use one or either of those in the future. We also have our wiki, the Lunarpedia wiki, which we hope to grow and become the #1 resource for information about the moon. It's a public domain wiki, so it's designed that all the material in here can be used for other projects, sort of like open source software. You could use the information here for building other projects, and we hope to eventually have a lunar atlas and comprehensive details about all the locations on the moon. But we already have lots of articles about lunar science and lunar settlement and mission concepts. And then the last thing we were able to do in the last year was the moon-based design contest. Several of our entrants to the contest will be speaking tomorrow. I'm very proud of how this went. We had high quality designs that were submitted. Here's the winning design. It's called Domi Inter Astra, DIA is the name of the settlement. It was created by the Space Generation Advisory Committee concept team, and just great high quality renderings that they created, as well as their 10-page proposal. And we had 18 total entrants. Some of them are really fascinating to take a look at, and a lot of them will be presenting tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're the Moon Society. We'd love to have you join us. We are a membership organization. It costs $35 a year to join, and you can participate in all of our activities, but we definitely would love to get more volunteers to help grow our projects and grow the efforts that we have online. And again, I'm really proud that we were able to organize the Lunar Development Conference again this year. This is our second one, and we plan to be able to do this every year to bring together the community around discussing the topics surrounding the moon. One of the things that I'm really excited about, as well as the first book that Peter Koch created, he has manuscripts for another 3 books, so a total of 4, and we'll be publishing those over the next few years. So thank you all. I can take any questions if we have any. I think we have about 2 minutes in the schedule.
James, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. The Moon Society is in good hands with these vision, mission, values. It's going to be really great to watch this unfold over the next coming years. As a 35-year-old organization.
Our organization, the Moon Society, was founded in 2000, so we're about 21 years old at this point, but the effort that came before us by some of the same people started in 1995. Yeah,
it's really quite tremendous. And given all of the activity globally, it really is exciting to kind of see this organization, I would say, have a renaissance moment and kind of come into its own as a thought leader for for where humanity can go on the moon. So I'm really excited about that. My participation is recent, but I'm pretty darn excited about it. So great.